Do you want to sew this dress? Of course you do, because it's completely adorable and it's super doable, even for a beginner, if you have some step-by-step instructions and a little video tutorial to guide you through the whole process, which is what I'm about to show you now. So thanks for joining me for this sew along, and we're going to make the fairy tale dress from Oliver and S. The first thing that you'll need is the actual pattern, so you'll go to oliverandS.com and either download it with the digital download or order the paper version, which is how I like to get my patterns. So that's what we have here, is the Oliver and S fairy tale dress pattern. And if you look at the back, you actually don't even need the pattern to start focusing on some of this stuff on the back. She has this on the website, so you can see some of the details here. Patterns in general are going to tell you a lot of information. First, this is the higher sizes, so this is size 5 up through 12, and I also have the one that is smaller. I believe it's 6 month up to 4T, and that's what I used for the dress that you just saw at the beginning. You can see that there's two views that she shows. View A, which has these little tulip sleeves, Peter Pan collar, and then a little waistband. Or view B, which has the big bow sash. It's sleeveless, and then it has kind of a modified Peter Pan collar, and that's the one that I'll be making. You can also interchange it. So if you want to do those tulip sleeves with the little bow sash, you can totally do it that way. Her patterns work where they can be interchangeable. A few other things you'll notice is the body measurements. So you can take a measurement of your kiddo right now and figure out where they fall on the pattern. One, so that you make sure you buy the right pattern, and two, so that you can go ahead and go out and start buying your fabric and get all of that stuff together while you're waiting for your printed pattern to get to you. It really only takes like 3 or 4 days. I mean, it doesn't take long at all, but it gives you time to go into the store and pick out your fabric. So if you see here for the view B, which we're going to do, you have two types of fabric, A and B. Then you also have a lining and you have some tulle for the underside of the skirt. So for my view B, I'm doing a size 6, so I need 2 yards of my main fabric, 1 yard of my secondary fabric, 1 3/4 of the liner. I'm not actually going to use that much because I'm going to put interfacing on the bodice instead of doing a lining, and then 1 yard of the tulle. So to give you an example what that looks like, let me bring you over to my cutting table. Here I have my fabric A for the dress, so this will be the main body and the skirt part of the dress, the main dress, and then my B fabric, which will be used on the bow sash around the waist, the collar, and then I did the armhole bindings with this color too to just kind of give it a little bit of a pop. For my lining, I actually used organza on my last dress and it worked okay, so I'm going to stick with that now. You'll need a little bit of sew-on interfacing, and this is the Pellon SureTailor interfacing. I like this because it sews on easy and it has a nice soft woven feel to it, so it's soft against your skin and it feels just kind of like cotton. So I have 2 strips here that we're actually going to put on the back of the bodice before we put on the zipper, but you would want more if you're going to use it on the bodice in lieu of doing a lining like I'll do in the video. You'll want a zipper. I did not realize when I bought the pattern, I wasn't paying attention, but it should be an invisible zipper, which this is not. So if you buy a zipper like this, you will see the whole zipper all the way down instead of just seeing the little pull tab. So just keep that in mind depending on what you want to see. Hook and eyes, which will just help you close the dress at the very end. And then a little bit of tulle. The dress has a bit of poof to it when you sew it together, but the tulle and the underlining underneath it really just kind of helps hold that body and keeps it all nice and poofed out in a very cute fairy tale princessy fashion. When you open up your pattern, you're going to see 2 instructional sheets, just because the instructions are long enough that they carry 2 on a separate page, and everything you need to know is going to be right in here. You'll also have a bunch of sheets that are this really thin paper, and these are going to show you your cutting. So not only is it going to show you how to lay out your fabric and then cut all your fabric pieces, but it'll give you all the details of where your notch lines need to go and the grain direction of your fabric and everything else. So everything you need is in here. I highly, highly recommend and can't stress enough how important it is to go through and read the whole instructions before you do a single thing. So read the instructions, be sure you feel comfortable with everything that it's saying. We're going to go through what it looks like, but it's a good idea to know how pieces go together, what certain terms mean. She lays out and gives you a full glossary, so if you don't know what backstitching is, you'll see it in the video, but she tells you all about it here. So it's very helpful. Just go through and at least take the time to pre-read the whole pattern all the way through so that you feel comfortable doing it.